another story time. This is exciting. This is about a mouse. I had no good hook. The time a mouse made a nest in my tent. I guess that's a hook. Is it?
I don't know anymore.
Subscribe and hit the notification bell. Tree planting, I talked about it a few times. I've mentioned it a few times. I've given you a few stories if you follow. But this one happened, actually this one happened right before summer of 94. And I was a foreman. I had tree planted a few times, and I took out a crew of my own. I was a terrible foreman.
We're getting close to the truth.
I thought I could make more money if I was a foreman, but it's piecework, right? So you got to plant more trees to make more money, and if your crew is good and you get a percentage of each of them, it's like multi-level marketing. But they were all really slow, and if I was just planting on my own, I could make really good money. So I was kind of frustrated.
I don't know if I care.
Also, I didn't have a control. Like I didn't want to be controlling. Okay, so I would kind of give them some freedom to do things. We had kind of a base camp where we're just kind of tents, and so they'd have to go into town to get things every once in a while, to do laundry, so I would give them the try. I gave them the benefit of the doubt and let them go do things, and they abused it. Almost every one of them. I remember one time I was delivering trees in the back of this truck, and there was all these like coolers, big bottles of some kind of coolers, and I was like, this feels like there was a party back here. So I started asking around and found out they all went to this planter's ball.
That does not sound good.
They had a tree planter's ball, and somebody had asked to borrow the truck, and because I had been letting them go get supplies and things like that, I assumed that's what they were doing, and a bunch of them jumped in there. I should have known they were a little more dressed up than usual for the planter's ball, which would have been terrible. Would have been like 80 guys and 4 girls. Would have been the worst planter's ball, except for the girls. Well, actually, it'd probably be worse for them because there'd be all these filthy 80 grubby men.
Who do you think you're insulting?
But anyway, that's just one example. I found people stashing trees. That's when they don't plant them. They just throw them away or hide them, which I never did. It's wrong, first of all. And we're here to plant trees, man. Just plant the trees. How long does it take you to chuck 20 of them over there? Go down by that bush and chuck 20 of them away. You could have planted that and back. Like, it's just stupid. Whiny. I had this one couple. It was just, they're probably watching this, and they're like, well, that wasn't us. Okay, wasn't you.
Sarcasm.
They were a couple that decided to go out and plant together, and which I guess now looking back, it's like, oh, they wanted to go do something together, earn a little bit of money and enjoy. Where I was like, make as much money as you can. Like I was just like, when I'm planting, it's just go. Eating on as you're planting. Like I wouldn't even take lunch break. Like that's what I was about, making money. That's why I was there, not to enjoy nature.
That seems kind of sad.
I just wasn't a great foreman. There was another guy who was a foreman there, and he had a different idea what foremaning was. I'm not going to say his name either, but like there was these guys from the local town. We were in Smithers, BC, Smithers, British Columbia, and there's a local group that wanted to like fight some of our guys or something, and he was telling me, yeah, your crew wussied out. My crew went in there and had to fight him, and I'm like, what? Is that a thing? We have to go fight people in town? I want to make money here. What else am I doing out here? I'm not into to show that I'm tough. I'm not into enjoy nature. I'm here to make money. It's a crappy summer job, but it pays well if you work hard.
You know what they say, money is the root of all evil.
A lot happened that summer. We had the Ford F350 series, the big crew cab 350. It was pretty cool. And we put those things through some backwood logging roads that maybe we shouldn't have. We had this supervisor who told me and this other foreman, he said he had this bungee tow rope, and he's like, I'm telling you this thing, it gives you extra, because it's a bungee, it gives you extra pull. And he'd say this, and it's so strong, you cannot break this thing. You could line it up, bumper to bumper, and pin it, and you will not break it. Well, we got really stuck one time. We were having trouble, and we had this bungee rope. And so me and the other foreman looked at each other, and we're like, I mean, he did say you could go bumper to bumper, and this thing wouldn't break. So we did that, and it broke. That supervisor was so mad.
Don't you feel a little bit bad about that?
We're like, dude, you bragged. You said this thing is unbreakable, and we broke it. What do you want me? Maybe you should get your money back. I was a terrible foreman in pretty much every single way.
You are a terrible human being.
With my planters, with my supervisor, with my other foreman, I was just not good. I'm sorry, everybody. If you were there, I apologize. One of the crews, he was coming around the corner too fast, and there was this bridge, and it was about 40 some feet high, and he just overshot and went straight over and flipped, and it actually crushed the cab. Everyone was okay. And you know why they were okay? I probably shouldn't say this. None of them were wearing seatbelts. So when they flipped around, they got banged around, but then when it crushed them, they weren't attached. Otherwise, they would have probably... So don't wear your seatbelts, you guys. It's dangerous.
Delete that.
If you're going to flip the car. If you're going to flip a car off a cliff. If you're going to flip a car off a cliff from about 40 some feet high, speeding, probably going about 60, 70, then I wouldn't wear a seatbelt. No, you should still wear a seatbelt, I guess. But they didn't, and they survived.
What is the point of all this?
I had some good memories. I had from that summer. One of the memories after the accident, actually. This was a good memory. This is a bad way to start the story.
Let's face it, he's getting worse.
We had to take the day off. It was a Sunday, and they were like, we'll shut her down for the day. And luckily, they all came back. Everyone was okay, and they got a new truck. And I mean, it's still an accident, still traumatic, but nobody died or anything. So that's the good news. But we took the day off. We a few of us decided to go to this church. It was like an old Christian Reformed church in Telkwa, I believe. And there was a wonderful, wonderful couple that were invited us. There was, I don't know, I forget how many there was of us there, but they were like, hey, you guys are in town. Come to our house to eat. One of their kids, all I remember is his name. I don't remember any of the other kids, but I remember Micah. And Micah was in our truck and we were driving. And I guess I was going a little fast. Because Micah, as soon as we stopped at this place where we were supposed to go, he jumped out and he's like, he's a crazy driver. He's a crazy driver. And he just started running around.
Stop being dramatic.
Great family, cool people. Another cool moment was the police showed up one day at the camp after a day of working, and they were like, yeah, hey, we had a truck back on top of another vehicle, this sports car, and then drove off, like a hit and run. And we're like, what? No, it's none of our guys. And they're like, it was the red truck, which is my truck. So it's like, what? Yeah. And I mean, we can do forensics and we can give you for sure, but that's what the eyewitnesses said. So I was like, oh man. All right. So let me get to the bottom of this. So I had to find out who did it. And I was asking people who did it. The only cool moment I had as a foreman of being a guy who like, oh, he handled that well.
Maybe, maybe not. I don't know if I believe all that.
In my mind. And I'm going to just make up names as to not give anything away or whatever.
Protect their identities.
So I talked to a few people. I talked to a fellow by the name of Tron. These are the worst fake names. Tron and Slasher. I don't know why I'm picking these names. It might have been somebody else too that had borrowed the car. We'll call him Earl. And then Johnny and Sally had also borrowed it, the couple.
No, I don't believe I know anyone by that name.
I don't remember their names, so I just made up some. So I was kind of quizzing everybody, and everyone's like, no, I don't know. I wasn't there, and I don't know what happened. And okay. So I'm in the truck with Slash. Slasher, did I say last time? I can't remember. And Johnny and Sally, and I'm really quizzing them hard now. I'm asking them timeline stuff, and I'm pushing them hard. And then Sally says, Leland, I know you think we did it. We didn't do it, and I know you think we did it. And I looked at Sally, and I was like, no, I don't think you did it. I think Tron did it. Just on some stuff, I just kind of Slash knows Tron. Slash is like, and he has this look on his face, and I'm like, they can do forensics. They're gonna hit and run is worse than they're letting us not be hit and run if we just go turn ourselves in. Tron needs to do that. I was just guessing. And Slash just kind of, Slash, it's the worst name to make up. He was like, yeah, he did. So we went and we grabbed Tron and we're like, okay, dude, here, let's go to the cops. We'll deal with this.
Now this I can do.
But you need to go and confess this, and we'll go get, go through your insurance and get it dealt with. And don't ever lie to me again. The whole story about this planting thing, this Telkwa Smithers, I was having a trouble. I was having a trouble.
Even though I was raised Mennonite, yo!
I was not doing well. None of these stories end well, do they? Next time on Leland Klassen's Story Time. But in the corner, there was this mouse's nest. No, I'm not going to be scared this time. He's just, I'm a mouse. I'm flailing around, freaking me out. And then